Hi, it's Bealles.
And we're going to talk about how we met. Hey everybody, it's Amanda.
And Rick.
And today we're going to talk about how we met and our first date and all that fun stuff. And that is because you guys asked for it. Last week we were talking about our thoughts on Wisconsin. We said if you guys want us to do more videos like this, let us know. And you guys did. And frankly, I don't know if you checked the comments, but you're a star.
Oh, stop it.
It's absolutely true.
I noticed there were a lot of comments.
There were.
And a lot of people are pro-Wisconsin, which I can understand that. I do believe it's a wonderful state.
It is.
So thank you all for watching the video.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's wonderful.
So somebody said we should do one on how we met. And we were at first thinking, well, you know, we've already talked about that on some live events before, but... Yeah. You know, if you hadn't caught those live events, you might not know the story.
Yeah, it's a good time to talk about it now because that was a long time ago.
You try to remember?
And the more I tell the story, the more I forget some details, and I think I'm adding other details.
Wow.
It's going to end up being something that's not, you know, the real us.
Good to have it on record.
Yeah, so we can go back and say, oh, honey, that's how it happened. We told ourselves.
Well... So, Rick and I met, would you believe it, in a grocery store. Grocery is like our lives. I don't know what it is.
If I ever want to meet her now, I have to go to a grocery store.
That's absolutely true.
Guess where we're going after the video here?
Grocery shopping. Well,
that's it.
That's how it goes. Anyway, here's the deal. We worked at the grocery store, or at least you'd gotten a job there. I had worked there.
Yeah, you were already working there.
I was the boss.
And I applied. Actually...
Not like the total boss, but I ran the front end.
Yeah, you were a boss in the store.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
A boss. Okay.
I'm still a boss.
You are. Yes, you are. No, what am I saying? Okay, that store, that particular store, I had applied to that store before, and nothing ever happened. So I started applying. I was a teenager. I started trying to get jobs at other places, and I just couldn't find work anywhere. So after a certain length of time, I can't remember how long it was, I decided to, all right, well, let me try that again. So I tried that same store a second time after just a bunch of disappointment all over the place. And in the second time, I think it's all in the Lord's timing. The second time, they called me in.
I do think it was Lord's timing. So I didn't meet him on his first day. The first day that he came, I was not there. But I think it was the second day he came in.
Yep. I think second or third.
That I actually got to meet him.
I still remember seeing you, meeting you. I think it was about 6 o'clock or so in the evening.
Well, I don't know what time it was.
It was in the evening or late afternoon.
I do know that they had hired 2 guys to come in and be baggers. That's what he was. He was a bagger. And one was named Brian and one was named Richard. And Brian had come in first. I'd already met him, and he was very friendly and chatty. And so I was thinking, you know, young guys, they're going to be friendly and chatty. So Rick comes in, and I start trying to chat him up, and he's the quiet type. I know you can't tell that from this video, but he is. And so I think I misfired. But
serious. I'm serious.
So essentially what happened was, first of all, let me just say that I was 19, almost 20, and Rick was 18, almost 19. Yeah. And I was a single mom, so I was like super serious, and all these young guys to me acted, you know, young and dumb and foolish. So that's kind of what I was anticipating. But at the same time, I tried to keep a friendly banter with him because I needed him to work.
And I was a teenager, but I acted like an older man.
You were, but I didn't know that yet. I just expected like a normal teenage guy.
Yeah.
So Rick comes in, and
well, you couldn't tell from my look.
Well, you look so young.
I mean, this was what, late 90s. I did look young.
He looked like he was 18, but he looked like he was 14.
And yeah.
I mean, he looked young.
Yeah.
You still look young.
Well, age is starting to creep up. But still, it's starting to creep up. It's sprouting out on my chin. But then I always looked like 5 or 6 years younger than I actually was. But my look, I mean, back then we wore the white dress shirts. This was the uniform.
Yeah, he had a uniform.
A little skinny red tie and everything.
Yeah.
And then of course I didn't have a single hair on my face. And I didn't even have to shave. I couldn't grow a thing. You know, I had some nice eyebrows. And but anyway, but you remember the hair?
Oh, I remember
the hair. It was dark back then, totally dark.
And it was long.
It was long, but not long. It wasn't like long.
I mean, it was
grunge, Seattle band long. But it was like it was a part.
Yeah, he parted it, and it was like long, and he like slicked it down and like
the
pressed
slick
it on his face.
Is what made it a thing. It made it my thing for a while. So it was a combination of conditioner, because that slicks it up, and then after you comb it, you got to comb it hard with a comb to the point the comb is bent.
You know how to get off on a tangent.
Hold on. I would use a combination of gel or mousse to give it the slick, and then when it was in place, I would make a cloud of hairspray and I'd run through it. It was a wire mess.
It was sad.
It was not moving anywhere. You could see why she fell in love.
Yeah. Anyway, so he looked like he was 14. And so I asked him if he was still in high school. That was the first thing I asked him.
Yeah.
And he said no. And he had graduated. And I said, oh, great. What school did you go to? And he named the school. And that school, he was actually the second graduating class of that school. It was brand new. And I went to a school that was kind of older. My parents had actually gone to that high school. Mm-hmm. And the school that he went to was known for all the rich kids going there, because it was the new school. That's where all the rich families sent their kids.
My family was not, but we were not. But no. in the boundaries and everything, that's where I got placed.
So as soon as he said he came from that school, I was like,
so you
great.
You typecast me.
He says I rolled my eyes and said great.
She did. She said, this was in our first encounter. This was within a minute. Uh-huh. The great story of Rick and Amanda.
How we met.
This was the first minute. She asked me what school I went to. I told her. She rolled her eyes, looked to the heavens, and went, great. And I said, oh, okay. Well, I hope I don't see you ever again. No, just kidding.
Not kidding. You meant that.
So, truth be told, it was not the most
wasn't love at first
loving of encounters. Mm-mm. The first one.
No.
But it's a true story, and I can honestly say that it was like a very brief, ooh. because I'll be honest with you, it was very quickly, you became my favorite person in the store. I've told you the story so many times, but as soon as I found out what car you drove, I would always go into the parking lot and I would scout the whole parking lot for your car. And I would always park near you. I know it sounds like a stalker.
No.
But I would just keep an eye on you. I would always
if anything, I stalked you.
Well, that's okay. It's nothing like a good stalking. I was fine with it. Anyway, that's weird. Anyway, so I took care of all the stuff outside, the trash can, the shopping carts, all this kind of stuff. And you would go outside to take a break, get away from the front end, the registers and everything. So if you were breaking on the right side of the building, I would go there. If you were breaking on the left, I wouldn't tell you that. I would just hope that you wouldn't notice that little boy with the wire hair wasn't just hanging around you all the time. When you were going up and down the store, putting stuff back, things that customers returned and everything, I was always right there.
Hey, that was me though, because at the end of the night, he would always mop the floors, and that was like one of his jobs. And there was a thing that we had to do, which is called reshop, which is all the things that people decided not to buy and had put back. We would have to go put it back in the store where it belonged. And conveniently, when he was mopping, I would be like, oh, you know what? It's time for me to go put things back. And I would follow him down all the aisles so we could talk.
It's kind of funny. You were doing it to me and I was doing it to you. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't admit it and you wouldn't either.
Never.
So.
So I was watching him and all of his excellent behaviors, how he was always coming in whenever he was needed, and how he was he cleaned the bathrooms and didn't complain, which like most of the young guys, either they didn't do it or they complained. And like he always had these crisply ironed shirts, and I thought, wow, I even asked him, did your mom do that? And he said, no, he did it.
She taught me.
Nobody did that. And
so you admired my shirts. Did you ever admire my hair?
Not in that haircut. I think I'm the one who encouraged you eventually to get it cut. Side note. I cut his hair.
I'll tell you something. For years, I would always wake up, I would put some kind of gel or something in my hair, right? It was because of you, dear. It was the first time I went out of the house with nothing in my hair, just kind of like towel dried. Mm-hmm. The anxiety that I had, you stripped me of my gel.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you never needed it again.
Anyway,
so that was a good thing.
So, crush. Oh, and I forgot the drug test story. This is part of the romance.
Oh, before you wonder, I was clean.
but
bonus.
One of the things that we had to do is we had to call people in for drug tests. The company that we worked for would randomly pick a name, and then
you never knew when it was coming.
Yeah, we had to call someone, and they had to show up within 24 hours to go get a random drug test.
Yeah.
And that was just to make sure that all the employees were clean. And so Rick's name came up, and I had to call him in for the drug test. And that was the first day I actually noticed him. Because I never saw him in his regular clothes, and I was just working, and I'm a super serious person. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm working, I'm like working. So when he came in for his drug test, I'm telling you, I promise you, it seemed like there was a glow about him. It could have been the windows. We had these big windows at the front of the store. But he walked in, and I just saw him glowing, and I was like, oh, wow. He's really cute. And I had never really paid attention.
Now, my hair was dark back then. There was no natural glow. It was just... It was
supernatural.
It was a sunny day.
It was the Lord.
It was a sunny day.
Beaming the lights down on
I mean...
saying, this one, Amanda.
I was wearing, what jeans, a t-shirt, and a hoodie.
You had your hoodie on.
I used to wear...
He still has that hoodie.
I do. It's a little gray hoodie. I wore the hoodies before hoodies were cool.
Yeah. I love that hoodie.
Yeah.
I still to this day love that hoodie. So, anyway.
It's seen better times.
But then we were noticing each other and whatever. But I knew that he was never going to ask me out.
Never. That's not because of lack of desire or interest. That was just awkwardness and
he would never have done it.
Shyness.
So I knew I was going to have to ask him, but I was really nervous he was just going to tell me no. And I couldn't handle the rejection. But at the same time, at some point, I was like, whatever, I'm just going to ask him. I'm like, I'm cute. I look like Brianna then. So I asked him, I actually think I told you. I told him, we're going to go out. I gave him like a week's notice because I knew our schedule, and there was one day that we were scheduled to close together. And I was like, okay, we're going to go out. I think it was a Saturday. We're going to go out next Saturday when we get off at 11, and we were going to go to Denny's because it was 24 hours and we could just, go out and it wouldn't be a problem. And so I had planned thinking that he was getting off at the same time as me. Later in the week, I found out he actually got off an hour earlier than me, and I was like, he is going to try to leave. He is going to try to flake out, and I did not want him to do it. I'm like, you've got to stay. You're going to go out with me, right? You're going to go out with me. And I kept bugging him about it. He says he had no intention.
I had none.
Of not going.
In fact, I'm trying to remember. I think I clocked out late because I was kind of working slow at all my little wrap-up tasks. Mm-hmm. In North Carolina, they call it piddling. I didn't know what I was doing back then, but now I know I was piddling.
Wow.
And I was wrapping things up very slowly, watching the time myself, waiting for you to get off. I was going nowhere.
Well, it's good to know now, but at the time I didn't know it. I kept thinking he is.
Well, I left it all a mystery because I was really quiet. That was my you know what I mean? That was my edge.
Anyway.
No,
It was thunderstorming.
I was doing the cool guy quiet.
It was thunderstorming. I got in my car.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. It was in the month of June, so it was one of those
summer storms.
Yeah, those summer type nasty storms at night with all the thunder, lightning, terrible rain and such. And all of it started right about the time we were going to go to Denny's, which was not down the road. It wasn't far in good weather.
Like 15 minutes.
But in nasty, terrible weather, it took a little while.
So I got my car.
You were running out of gas.
And I had like no gas. But I was like, I am going to Denny's.
I was going through my own little trial too, trying to follow you. Mm-hmm. You were running out of gas, thinking you were going to run out on the way. Mm-hmm. This was before cell phones. We weren't talking or communicating. I was just following her taillights. And she's about out of gas. And I was my car had a terrible air. There was no defrosters.
Oh, okay.
It was fogging up on me.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the steamy, hot, humid rain, and I was wiping the window with my hand, trying to follow you. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've always had bad eyes at night, mm-hmm. so that it was a trial. But I said, I'm just going to keep heading down the road. It seemed like it took forever to get there,
but we made it.
We did. And was it wonderfully romantic? I know you're thinking so. It was Denny's, right? But no, it was a Saturday.
It was packed.
It was packed. If you can picture, like what was it?
Well,
by then it was going on midnight.
Yeah, but back then, like there weren't that many places to go.
No, everything.
Things closed. There weren't very many 24-hour things.
Yeah. So this was before social distancing and things like that.
For sure.
People were crowded in that thing. If you can remember, this long ago, this was back when there was still smoking sections.
Oh, there was.
So part of Denny's had the smoking section, and it was behind the glass wall.
Just made me feel really old.
Oh, something. We've been around a while.
Since the smoking section.
Yeah, we've been.
Anyway,
that's us.
They set us by the bathroom.
Yes.
So romantic.
Yes.
We shared a sampler platter.
At midnight by the bathroom.
Yep.
And I was so, I keep saying the word awkward, but just kind of butterflies, nervous-like. Uh-huh. I didn't know how to sit. I didn't know if I should be tough guy and put my hands on the table, or should I still be me? So I was on the table, and I'm like, and I'd go back to myself. And I remember, I was like OCD type with my napkin. I kept wiping my mouth and all, and I'm always like that. And
he hasn't changed at all.
Well, with you, I'm totally comfortable with you now.
Yes.
It was funny. I went from when I first met her, we just didn't hit it off. Mm-hmm. I didn't dislike her, but it was like, okay, But quickly, like I said, she became my favorite person in the store, and I was totally comfortable with her. Mm-hmm. Totally. And then all of a sudden, we're at Denny's. First time I was around her outside of the store. I think the store was like my little, what would you call it? I don't know, like a shelter, but it was like the safe place. This is where I talk to you. You're one of the store people. We talk, whatever. But now we're outside the store, and this is different. Mm-hmm. This is strange. This is weird. Mm-hmm. And I was a little awkward, a little nervous that night, but I got over that. And
because like a few days later, we ended up going out for lunch.
Yeah. And
I've been with him every single day ever since. So that is the beginning of us becoming the Bealles. A few years later, we were married, and we've just been the Bealles. I don't even know what to say about that. Yeah. But that's the beginning of it. We met in a grocery store. No surprise. Side note, my grandfather had a grocery store. Like, he ran one his whole life. Mm-hmm. Most of his life. Like, I feel like groceries in my blood. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, there's something about it. Meeting you at a grocery store, working at a grocery store, my grandfather owning a grocery store, doing grocery hauls. Like, my whole life is groceries. On that note, we're going to go get groceries. It's absolutely true. We're in this for the long haul. So I'm going to take this man and we're going to go to the grocery store. But let us know if you like these videos where we tell stories. We have loads to tell. If you have any questions you want us to ask, somebody said they wanted us to do some reviews.
Reviews of what?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Anything that you guys want us to talk about, let us know, and we'll try to find something to talk about. I don't know, but I like hanging out and filming with Rick. So give us something
reviews
to
would
do.
be fun.
Yeah.
But truth be told, everybody's got an opinion of something.
No, that's true.
We would, I guess, just record ours.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, that's it for this one.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. See you
Thank
guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.